Dhanyavad, everybody.
Dhanyavad, Prabhu.
Dhanyavad, Pandit, today.
Trying to join from London.
Maybe the connection is not set
TV,
up.
but
The internet connection is not working.
It's not working. Hare Krishna. Oh, it's very cold, huh? Dhanyavad, Rupa Vilas Prabhu.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad, Prabhu.
Dhanyavad. Anindita Didi, Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad Shakira Didi. Here's the star of the show. Dhanyavad Vijay Krishna Prabhu.
Dhanyavad Prabhu. Dhanyavad. Jai.
Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad Maharaj.
Dhanyavad Maharaj.
Dhanyavad Maharaj.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh,
Jai.
you can hear me calling Krishna's name. Govinda, Govinda.
Are we muted?
We have some echo, echo, echo.
He always goes where children go, and he always says the same.
This is a poem by Devashis Prabhu from a different time.
That was a song we used to sing at Sunday school to stop us from being bad boys and girls.
Okay.
Or try to stop us from being bad boys and girls.
Yeah.
We're all coming to West London, but West London may be having an earthquake just now.
Maybe it's adjusting the yeah.
We did have an earthquake here, by the way, maybe 3 weeks ago. I was sitting right here at the desk.
Yeah?
Felt it underground, and I thought, oh, this is more than just somebody, drilling on the road or something.
Wow.
You could feel like the rocks and the earth moving around. Narada. Is this Narada Muni coming to join us?
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Great. Hare Krishna Maharaj, nice to see you.
Hare Krishna, good to see you. And where are you from? Where are you calling from? London?
Yeah, I'm in London. I'm in London. Yeah.
All right, very good.
Saraswati Didi is just adjusting the camera, but I just want to say about Narada Prabhu, he's been helping us very much with fundraising for the month. And yeah, just a little introduction. It's been very nice to work with him.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Rasamai Pandit Didi. I'm sure your earthquake will settle down soon and we'll see you. And Shakira in South Africa is with us. Welcome. Anindita Devashis and maybe Jai Shekhar Prabhu is nearby. And Vijay Krishna in East London. Jai. And Rupa Vilas in the Far East. Not quite London, Philippines, Manila.
Vijay Krishna Prabhu is now in Southeast London. He moved.
Oh, is he? Oh, so how near are you to Devashis Prabhu? Your microphone, yeah.
Yeah, very near, Maharaj, very near. In fact, Devashis Prabhu helps us a lot, picks us up and go to the temple when we are going to the temple in the Sundays. It's
all right.
Devashis Prabhu is 5 minutes drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 5 minutes drive, and yeah, he picks us up us up and we all go to the temple all together. Yeah.
Okay, and have you mastered the art yet of the pranayama to take a big breath all the way through the Dartford tunnel, the tunnel of poison, poisonous perfumes? That's a
You mean the
terrible.
Blackwall Tunnel, Maharaj? Blackwall
Oh,
Tunnel.
Blackwall Tunnel, yeah.
Yeah. Blackwall by name and Blackwall by nature.
That's quite a hellish.
No, luckily we don't see any traffic. Most of the time there's no traffic. It's quite a free flow.
So
it's-
you can hold your breath all the way through the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. All right, and so now we're all coming together actually in West London. This is a kind of the physical location we're coming together, and in West London we have small figures. One is Rasamai Pandita, and the other one is. Let me see if we can pin the video.
And Krishna Mohini Didi.
Oh, okay, Dandavat. Okay, very good. So you're with us, and who else is in the temple there?
So we have Ramananda and Dauji painting the office currently. And then in the temple room, we have Vera and Vera Chandra Prabhu and Nitai Chand Prabhu chanting.
Chanting. Oh, for the Bhogarati maybe.
Yes, yeah. They came with enthusiasm to chant for 3 hours. They wanted to do kirtan for 3 hours, so.
All right. Very good. Okay, so we've come together and we're a few minutes in. So whoever's with us now, we can think we are with each other. We're together.
Mai in the kitchen and Saraswati Didi doing puja. Sorry, I just meant to add that.
Sorry, who was in the kitchen?
Lavanya Mai Didi in the kitchen and Saraswati Didi doing puja.
All right. And when is Krishna Mohini going to Spain? She must be going quite soon, is it?
Yeah.
Or were you able to extend her papers?
Well, the papers couldn't be extended, and so she is due to fly out on the 20th. But it's a little complicated, and we're hoping everything will fit in perfectly in terms of timing and with COVID and
Okay.
stuff like that. So we're hoping everything will turn out well.
All right. And I think Keshavananda is coming to you on the 11th, I think. Isn't that right?
Yes, yes, on Monday for a week.
Then going to Sweet Lake City, Salt Lake City. All right. And Ishanuga Didi Dandabat.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And Madhu Gopal Prabhu Dandabat. And Ananda Sarupini Devirasi Dandabat. So everybody.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat Maharaj.
Yes, Dandabat. Todos glorious as my Spanish is going. All glories to all the devotees of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Todos glorias a todos devotees del Señor Chaitanya. Yeah, Madhu Gopal Prabhu. I'm trying to.
Sí. Muy bien, Maharaj. Sí, sí.
Muy bien. Okay. Grazie. Oh, no, grazie is Italian. Gracias. Okay, so we're here together. So first of all, Jai, big Jai to our wonderful Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
And a big Jai, our wonderful Srila Bhakti Rokko Dev Goswami Maharaj, founder and charger of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math ki Jai.
Jai.
And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai.
Jai.
Guru Vaga ki Jai.
Jai.
Ishvaranya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
All our present day Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premji Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bol.
And to all of the devotees, please share our obeisances as we meet together in the West London temple.
Panchakalpa Turvyascha, Kripa Sindhavescha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Oh, we hear that today is Ēkādaśī in London and also here in Italy. So today we've been asked to say something about the holy day of Ēkādaśī. Now, All of you are devotees. Yes, all of you are devotees looking around the screen. So you already know what is Ēkādaśī. It's a day of great suffering for all Bengalis. They have to give up rice for a day. And when rice is their meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, don't think that's a small thing. Really, what may be easy for us to follow, it may not be so easy for others to follow. And anyhow, the whole principle about Ēkādaśī, and you all know, it is Krishna's day. It's a day when we try to do the minimum for our own bodily looking after and the maximum for Krishna's seva, which really we can say should be every day, but we have these 2 days in the month which are specifically set aside or followed, as shown by Srila Saraswati Thakur. Guru Maharaj, Gurudev means our acharyas, that we will follow carefully Ēkādaśī. And during these days in particular, we know that not to take grains and beans and any of these pulses, these kind of vegetarian produces. And what we can take safely, which is what in Chaitanya Saraswat Math, our parent temple, what Guru Maharaj established is roots, fruits, milk products, and water. So if you stay within that category and then avoid out of the roots, to avoid anything which is red, like carrot, and also to avoid mula. And I don't know what the English word for mula is, but radish and radish family. Mula looks like something like a carrot, but it is white. Maybe Devashis Prabhu knows.
Yeah, it's called...
And I asked why. Yes, Devashis.
No, I just say most people in UK know it as mooli or white radish.
Huh, okay. Mooli or white radish.
Mooli, yeah.
Okay.
I think mooli is perhaps the Hindi name.
Maybe so. And I have asked why, but not to Gurudev, but I have asked why. And I tried not to ask too many whys, but the answer I got back was, we don't take the white, white radish, the mooli, because it is like a carrot, and the carrot is red. So, so I accept that. I didn't inquire any further on it.
That's an excellent explanation.
But we know that also the main injunction is not to take grains on Ēkādaśī. As Mahaprabhu asked to his mother, and this is before he took sannyas, it was a while before taking sannyas. He asked to his mother, "Mother, I have one request of you." And she's saying, "Yes, whatever you want, whatever you want." And what was that request? "Please do not take grains on Ēkādaśī." And she said, "Yes, I will follow this. Certainly, I will follow your request." So we don't take grains on Ēkādaśī. And about Ēkādaśī, most of us know, the whole principle of Ēkādaśī, and probably most of us know about Gurudev's view on Ēkādaśī. There is a book called the Ēkādaśī Mahatmya, if I'm not mistaken, and it lists each of the Ēkādashis in the year and tells about the benefit that one gets by following that Ēkādaśī. But I promise you, because I have the first-hand experience with Gurudev, Gurudev disapproved that we are reading this book. And this is because that Ēkādaśī Mahatmya, it is essentially giving promise of a reward by following this Ēkādaśī. By following this Ēkādaśī, you will get this result. By following this Ēkādaśī, you will get this result. And, we have to say that before we heard from Gurudev, then one of the brahmacharis in the temple used to read from that book during the Ēkādashis in the English program on the Samadhi Mandir of Guru Maharaj. But then one day Guru Maharaj, he would come and he would stand in front of the temple. Sometimes he gave the class, but sometimes he would stand in front of the temple. He would come kind of visit, hear what was happening. And when he heard that brahmachari reading from the Ēkādaśī Mahatmya, then Gurudev, he then expressed, no, this is not our line. Our line is we are simply serving Ēkādaśī, observing Ēkādaśī for the pleasure of Krishna. And we don't want to even like put in our mind, oh, if I do this particular named Ēkādaśī very nicely, I'll get this result, because that's kind of fueling our tendency for wanting a result for something that we do. And we are learning under the guidance of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev how to be selfless. We get result or not result. We're not doing it for our result. We're doing it because our gurus, our guardians who know best for us, they tell us do this. So this also is another, like a little indication about how we need to follow and understand the guidance of our gurus and follow under the guidance of our Guru Varga. So even though such books does exist and it's translated and it's there in the world, we are not reading it. It doesn't mean it's blasphemous book or anything like that, but it is not the line of the move of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. So this is where we put our head at their feet, not at the feet of a book, as it were. Krishna Lalana Devashis, welcome. Dhruvananda Prabhu, welcome. Lavanyamoy Devashis, welcome. You've joined us in the last few minutes, each of you. And Shantimoy, welcome. Shantimoy is running the obviously vegetarian, the food kiosk side. But there's almost no customers because although it's the weekend and it's a beautiful crisp day with ice everywhere, but still we're in a red zone lockdown. So basically no customers. Yes, Gaura Hari Prabhu, making your appearance today.
Dandavad Maharaj.
Dandavad. Dhruvananda Das to everyone. Dandavad Pranam Maharaj. Yes, Dhruvananda. Gaura Hari Prabhu, maybe your microphone is on. We're getting a little bit of a feedback, or maybe it's off by now. Yes. Okay. Jai. Anyhow, these are a few things, and I know that our cameras are not so good, you can't see, but I didn't shave today. For the men amongst us, we're not meant to, it's a tradition there. We won't shave in general or cut our fingernails. And sometimes I know it's Ēkādaśī because my fingernails clip the wrong keys on the keyboard. I can't cut my fingernails today, it's Ēkādaśī. Praneshwari Devashis has come to join us. Hare Krishna. So I can pass the microphone over. Shantimoy Devashis, are you available? We can see some sort of a flower in place of you. Because here they're making very simple but tasty prasadam on Ēkādaśī. I am the witness. My tongue is the witness. And I was thinking, Shantimoy Devashis. Okay, very good. Would you like to share a recipe? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Would you like to share a recipe, a simple recipe that probably nobody knows?
A recipe?
Yes, for Ēkādaśī.
Oh, well, not the right person, Maharaj. You need Krishna Kanta or Muninda Prabhu for this.
What was that?
No, I'm the wash disher.
Oh, the wash disher, okay. Very valuable part of the scripture.
Yes, beautiful. I love it. It's my favorite.
Okay, so we got lots of devotees here. If you don't have a recipe ready for us, would you like to say anything to the assembled devotees? We're in West London.
Yes, Dandavad to all. Dandavad. I can't really see. Okay. Yes, Maharaj. My Dandavats to all the assembly devotees, which I can't see who's there, but I'm happy to be with you, and I'm listening while I'm doing my seva here.
Okay. So we won't disturb your valuable seva, but really valuable seva, washing pots there. So, Devashis Prabhu, we're going to come to you. You can give us some philosophy, but you are also able to give us recipes, no doubt.
Yes, Maharaj. Take some potatoes, boil them in a pot with some salted water, and then mash them. There you go. Very traditional Ēkādaśī recipe. Some temples they call it recipe. Potato day. Yes. So we in Chaitanya Saraswat Math we observe Ēkādaśī a little different to maybe some of our sister organizations, and I can say that a couple of years ago I was invited to meet with His Holiness Radhanath Swami at the Soho Street ISKCON temple, and it was Ēkādaśī on that day. So I went there, and he invited me to join him for breakfast. And really, seriously, you would not have known that it is not Ēkādaśī except for the fact that there was no rice. Otherwise, everything was there that you can imagine. But all kinds of like fancy cakes and all sorts of things. But what we learned from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev really is that that we should try to minimize our enjoying spirit on Ēkādaśī. Srila Guru Maharaj, when he gives his explanation about Ēkādaśī, there's a few places where he was asked by different devotees. I think someone's got their mic on. A few devotees on different occasions asked Guru Maharaj about Ēkādaśī, and on one occasion he said, the idea is to make yourself dry, like not to take so much liquid on Ēkādaśī, because the liquid nature of our material body becomes agitated on the Ēkādaśī day. So if you make yourself dry, then less agitation. But also we see that Gurudev, he said, coming from a Vaishnava family, we always observed Ēkādaśī, but not fasting. We just ate different food on Ēkādaśī, more simple food, aloo dum and like that, he said. So then when he came to Chaitanya Saraswat Math first time, as you know, in 1947, that was the Ēkādaśī day when he came, when he arrived there. And the brahmachari that came with Gurudev said, okay, today we are doing fasting whole day. And Gurudev was like, I'd never fasted before in my life. So this was like
a mini mention, Devashis Prabhu. That was actually Nrsimha Chaturdasi.
Oh yeah, Nrsimha Chaturdasi.
Similarly fasting. Yes.
Yeah, so similar type of fast. Quite right, and thank you for correcting me on that, Maharaj. But then he said, all day he was feeling great hunger, and he saw growing in one of the trees there was a very nice ripe papaya. So he asked the brahmachari, can I eat that papaya if I climb the tree and pick it? And the brahmachari said, okay, half you give to Mahaprabhu and the other half you can have. So that was Gurudev's food that day. So sometimes when we were young, we used to fast on Ēkādaśī, full fast, because we were young, we were healthy, we were, it wasn't a difficult thing. But really the Srila Guru Maharaj's axiom was that he said many times, take prasadam and do full seva. And if it means that by fasting you can't do anything, that you have to just stay in the bed all day because you're too weak to do anything, then that's not the purpose of Ēkādaśī. Ēkādaśī really is the opposite of that, is that we minimize our own necessity so that we can engage more in the service of Hari, Guru and Vaishnava. And that's really the principle. And also it's not the principle for us to try to find crafty ways around the rules of Ēkādaśī by finding all kinds of ways to make, enjoyable prasadam that doesn't contravene the Ēkādaśī rules, but actually it does contravene the spirit of the Ēkādaśī, and which is to minimize our own enjoyment. So not to like try and find devious ways of, they call that, drinking water underwater on a fast day. So it means while you're taking your bath in the river, when you go under the water, you take some water so that and nobody realizes that you've taken water on the fast day. Of course, our fasting isn't quite so extreme that we are not taking water, but the principle is that we're not to try and cheat on Ēkādaśī. We try to just to make the minimalness for our necessity, not so much that we become madly fixated on our hunger, but enough that we can satisfy our hunger and easily do seva. And we know in Chaitanya Saraswat Mott, if you lived in the Mott, that on Ēkādaśī day there wasn't breakfast. You don't take prasadam until noontime, and then and generally only in the evening if you really need to. So the idea was like just one meal, and that would be very simple, a very simple meal. And so this is the principle for following the Ēkādaśī. A few times when I was traveling on the Ēkādaśī day, twice it happened to me that Srila Guru Maharaj made me eat rice on the Ēkādaśī day. Being a Bengali man, then, he said, oh, you're traveling, you'll need to keep your strength, then you should take rice. And so I took, because Guru Maharaj told me to take, but we're not ourselves thinking, oh, it's Ēkādaśī, I'm going on a journey, I'll need to take some rice. But if by the order of Guru or Vaishnava, then only then we do that, but not otherwise. And another thing I just want to say about Ēkādaśī, there are many things, like you were saying in the Ēkādaśī Mahatmya, there's so many things about the benefits you get. There's also mention of the punishment that you get for not following the Ēkādaśī, and mention of how the pop, the sin, is resident in the grain on the Ēkādaśī day, and even it says it goes to the extreme of saying that if you eat grain on Ēkādaśī, it's the same as if you killed your mother, your father, and your spiritual master. The result of that. So that's very heavy. But someone has their microphone on. Can some? I don't know who it is.
Ananda Sarupini, Didi, please turn off the microphone.
So this is every day that you go off the WhatsApp.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, but we are not following Ēkādaśī for fear of sin, because we must not ever consider that Krishna's Mahaprabhu. Back on again.
I think you can turn off her microphone as you're the host. Whoever is the host.
I think that has to be me then. I have to find out. Sorry. Okay, they've done it themselves, I think. Yeah.
Or maybe
not. All right.
Just talking about punishment.
Ananda Sarupini Didi, please turn off your microphone.
I can understand.
Okay, I've done it.
Yep, yeah, you've done it. Good. Okay.
All right, yeah. So regarding sin and Mahaprasadam, of course, sin can never touch Mahaprasadam. Sin is mundane. Mahaprasadam is transcendental. So the grains that have been offered to Krishna, and also we should remember that Krishna does not follow Ēkādaśī. So you should not think on Ēkādaśī, I won't offer rice to Krishna. You should offer everything, especially in the temple. At home may be different, but especially in the temple, Krishna should be offered the full range of prasadam as he is on any other day, and perhaps more things. Because Ēkādaśī, we understand, is the day when Krishna likes to enjoy more, and hence we get more benefit from service on the Ēkādaśī day, more devotional benefit. But any grains that are offered to Krishna on the Ēkādaśī day, one should never think that they are contaminated by sin, because that itself will be a sin to think in that way. It will be aparad to the prasadam. But still, we are not taking that prasadam on that day. We will honor that prasadam the following day. And the reason is, actually, I heard Srila Sridhar Maharaj say 2 reasons. One reason is to show an example to the general people. Okay, so that may not be very relevant in the West, because people don't follow Ēkādaśī in the West generally, who are not devotees. But in India, many people follow Ēkādaśī who may not be, followers of pure devotion, or they just be general Hindu people, but they will follow the Ēkādaśī. So Guru Maharaj said, for that reason, we are showing the example that they should follow that, and we are also following that. But the more relevant reason is that we do this to satisfy Krishna by following some small tapasya, if you like, some small inconvenience possibly for us. This gives satisfaction to Krishna if we are doing for his sake, and also to facilitate more service to Lord Krishna, that we can do more service to him, more service to Gurudev, more service to the Vaishnavas. But we should never think that the Mahaprasadam can ever be touched by sin, and anyone will take that Mahaprasadam, they will not be touched by sin if they have the right attitude, the right conception about Mahaprasadam. As I said, sin is a mundane thing, but we are to try to follow the Ēkādaśī for the satisfaction of Krishna, and to give us more facility for service. And if you can do by fasting, you can. That is also good, but as long as that will not give any trouble to you, that you will not be able to do anything, just stay in the bed all day. And we heard from Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj that one day when he was with Guru Maharaj on Ēkādaśī, and Guru Maharaj asked him, have you had Anukalpa? Anukalpa is generally what we refer to as the prasadam we take on Ēkādaśī. Literally, Anukalpa means a little bit. Anukalpa, a little bit, a small amount. But generally, we use that when we're describing prasadam that we take on a fast day. So Gurudev asked Goswami Maharaj, did you take Anukalpa? And Goswami Maharaj said, no, I am fasting, because it was his habit in those days to fast every Ēkādaśī. But he said, I saw Guru Maharaj became a little disappointed. And Guru Maharaj said, oh, well, if that was what your Gurudev wanted you to do, then it is all right. And then Goswami Maharaj said, no, our Gurudev didn't tell us to do that. It is just, that's my own thing. Then Guru Maharaj said, oh, then please take prasadam. Please take prasadam. And it was from that we can understand that Guru Maharaj was more happy when the devotees would take some prasadam rather than just fasting on the Ēkādaśī day. And so for his satisfaction also, we will take something on the Ēkādaśī day, and also to maintain our strength for service, but not for making it a day for searching for alternative enjoyment, if you like, to our normal enjoying mood. We should try to reduce the enjoying mood on the Ēkādaśī day. And Guru Maharaj said, it is a special dispensation for the fallen souls, that if you do some devotional service on the Ēkādaśī day, which falls twice in every month, you get more benefit. And also Guru Maharaj described and why that was, because he says, you know, the benefit of service is more when it is more necessary. So we can say, like Guru Maharaj said, a glass of water is a very ordinary thing. But if you are in the desert and starving for some of thirst, then a glass of water becomes a very, very valuable thing, extremely valuable thing. So according to its necessity, something is more or less valuable measured by its necessity. So he says that on the Ēkādaśī day, so we know that in the spiritual world, as described in Brahma Samhita, there is no need for sunlight or moonlight. But that doesn't mean that the sun and the moon are absent there, because we hear that Krishna likes to dance under the full moon with the cowherd girls. It's a special time for him, the Purnima. He likes that very much. So similarly, Guru Maharaj said, on the Ēkādaśī day, some disturbance comes in us that makes us more, you can say, more anxious for enjoying. Our enjoying spirit becomes greater on the Ēkādaśī day. So therefore the advice to make yourself dry, because what increases our enjoying spirit is the rasa, or the juice, if you like, the liquid part that runs through the body, that increases our enjoying spirit. So, and why does it increase our enjoying spirit? Because it increases Krishna's enjoying spirit. So we hear that on the Ēkādaśī day, Krishna wants to enjoy even more than on the other days. So therefore, if we minimize our enjoyment in an attempt to increase his enjoyment by serving him more, then our reward, if you like, devotional reward, not mundane reward, devotional reward, will be greater. So the benefit will be greater. And therefore, these days, special days, they are considered to be, as Maharaj mentioned, and as the title of our talk today, the Lord's Day. So, you know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his song, which we sing on the Ēkādaśī day, Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu, then on the second verse, Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani Jatane Palane Kori. That means the Madhavatiti, Ēkādaśī is known as Madhavatiti. That means the day dear to Madhava. So it is a day which is very dear to Lord Krishna. And then if we do some service and minimize our own enjoyment for the sake of that service, on that day, Madhavatiti, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I observe these days with great attention. So we should give our attention to these days, not be negligent of following that, and understand that devotionally we can benefit very greatly if we try just a very small thing. It is not Madhusudan Maharaj said, maybe if you're a Bengali and dinner, tea, and breakfast, dinner, and tea is, you know, your rice is everything to you, as it is with Bengali people. We see that, you know, they have a mountain of rice and a little bit of sabji around that every day. That's their meal. But for us, especially in the West, it's not such a big deal. Many of us don't eat rice every day. I don't eat rice every day. So it's not such a big deal to not eat rice twice a month. And not just rice, but means wheat and, you know, other grains and pulses and so on. But we can eat something simple, potatoes, we can eat potatoes, and fruits and roots and milk and many things, but simple. Something simple, which means doesn't take long to prepare and doesn't take long to consume. Then for fuel, you can say more for fuel, but we can utilize our time more productively for the service of Hari, Guru and Vaishnava. Anyway, that's my little bit about Ēkādaśī today.
Jai Hari, Guru and Vaishnava ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. And actually the prasadam in the mat really was simple on Ēkādaśī days. And as Devashis Prabhu said, out of just routine, respecting Ēkādaśī, there was no breakfast served. So, and Gurudev also said, if anyone's troubled, they can buy some fruits from the stall outside, this, that, and the other. But they didn't serve breakfast in the mat. And lunch was essentially potato and papaya, green papaya, sabji. And it would be for spicing some ginger, salt and ginger, like this. And then in the sweet, they did have, well, we say a sweet, it was a very watery sago, you know, the sago balls, little balls of sago, with little milk, but mainly water, probably like 25 to 1, 25 parts of water to 1 part of milk, and then sugar. This was the sweet that would accompany. And then we would have fried potatoes, but be careful not to fry there. They will not use the mustard oil on that day. And in fact, the only day they used ghee was on Ēkādaśī. They used ghee on Ēkādaśī. And the other thing was peanuts would be a regular on the plate. So some fried potato, the watery kind of sabji of the green papaya and potato, and then peanuts, some peanuts on the plate.
Yes.
And then sago for the sweet. And the evening would be the same thing again, basically.
And I just saw there that Dhruvananda Prabhu asked, what about quinoa? A lot of devotees like to take quinoa, but as far as I understand, quinoa being a seed, we also do not take seeds on Ēkādaśī.
I know that there is some technicality. If a seed is not seasonal, it may be taken, but then that comes into the category that you were mentioning earlier on when you're talking, that we shouldn't be trying to, just find other things on a technicality. We're going to essentially make the same things, but with other products, which technically can be taken. We want to follow the spirit of Ēkādaśī.
Yes.
And the question of chocolate came up for Ēkādaśī directly to Gurudev. And Gurudev and the devotee was asking to Gurudev about, can we take chocolate because it's not a bean, it's a fruit, or something like this. We're trying to explain it's a fruit. And then Gurudev didn't entertain any of the, like the technicalities, or is it a fruit, or is it a bean, is it a bird or an airplane? He wasn't going into all the technicality things. He just said it immediately. He said it goes against the spirit of Ēkādaśī to take chocolate on Ēkādaśī. He didn't start to analyze, is a chocolate technically a bean or not? So for all of you coffee drinkers out there, which I'm sure none of you are, but if you have any friends who are, then coffee comes in a very similar category. We've heard devotees debating, one side voting for the fact it's a fruit, another side voting saying no. But Gurudev, by the same principle, it's coffee is for our senses, for devotees' senses, so not to be taken on Ēkādaśī. Dhruvananda, what? Oh, quinoa. Yes, there we are. Yes, there we are. I just saw the message on the side too. And by the way, Gurudev in Navadip, he, by his guidance, by his permission and arrangement, then for some time we did have a Western kitchen in Navadip. And that was there so that Westerners who couldn't, just kind of couldn't take rice, dal and sabji like every day of the week, and somehow or another were having much difficulty to be in the temple with the regular Bengali diet. Then Gurudev, he gave permission, said, okay, so let there be a Western kitchen for those who need to make like the special foods for themselves. But after some months, Gurudev himself closed that Western kitchen, because he said, I gave sanction for that kitchen so they will make food stuff appropriate for themselves. If they cannot take any chili and mustard oil and this, that, and the other, that's okay, but then they can make it appropriate. But I see it's being used for enjoyment. It's being used for making fancy things rather than making suitable prasadam that the Western body can take. So Gurudev, he was always against this idea that we're going to make things for ourselves, going to make things to be like very tasty for ourselves. And then, of course, especially on Ēkādaśī, Ēkādaśī is Lord Hari's day. And who is Hari? It's simply accepted all over India. Who is Hari? God. Can you replace Hari with God? But the person of God, not God's effulgence, whatever may be. And welcome Rogero, joining us from Sardinia today also. Welcome. Hare Krishna. And every day is Krishna's day, if only we can take Mahaprabhu's message to heart. Isn't that so?
Maharaj, I
Yes, Rasamai Pandita Didi.
a small question on the theme of prasadam. I recently heard that Srila Gurudev may have said, if you can properly honor prasadam, then you have everything. Meaning this concept, like the proper receiving prasadam properly in every sense of the meaning of the word, I guess. Food and also other blessings. Could you please confirm that or shed some light?
Well, yes, I can confirm that. And on different occasions, Gurudev has said, really said very clearly and very straightforward, as Gurudev was, by honoring prasadam, then practically we've conquered the whole. But we have to honor prasadam. We have to understand what that is. Yes. And the other thing is, this is the big difference between the ascending method and the descending method, and the personal conception and the impersonal conception. The yogis, they are all, there are serious yogis in the world. Not all are just like playing around like children. There are those, maybe few, but who really see that the material senses get us into trouble. It's a place of, for every action there's a reaction. And so they don't want to be tempted by anything in this world. But we also hear that those who are like established in that kind of, I've successfully managed to reject everything. They still have some fear in them for those things that they have controlled, for the tongue, for the belly, for the genitals. So there is always that possibility for, again, going into that direction, that although they've pushed those ideas out of their mind, they are fearful. In Bhagavatam 11th canto, there is a section when the 9 yogendras are talking, I believe, with Vasudeva, the father, Vasudeva and Devaki Vasudeva. And there's a description about how the yogis, they can try very hard, but still that is lingering. They know, that danger is there at any moment. But the mercy of Mahaprasadam, by honoring prasadam, then the tongue, if we come back to also Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer of Sahajarar Vijidal, Jadendriya Thahekal, Jive Pillai Visai Sagare, that the tongue is actually the most voracious of all our senses to control. If we can control the tongue, then everything is controlled. And that prasadam is the very grace of the Lord coming so that we can control our tongue. Just to try not to eat anything tasty, try not to have any lingering taste or desire, this is not successful. It is artificially subduing the senses. But when we can have the higher taste of prasadam, but we really want to then be prasadamtarian, actually prasadamtarian. And this way, we have some, not only little hope, we have great hope in this world.
Yes.
And
Maharaj,
yes, Devashishwa.
yes, Maharaj, just on that subject of honoring prasadam, a couple of things came to my mind. One is, I read Saraswati Thakur, he said, honoring the Mahaprasadam should never be a matter of gluttony. So the idea of thinking that, oh yeah, we're going to eat something very, very nice. Of course, Mahaprasadam is always nice, but that shouldn't be rather we should be thinking how the Lord has enjoyed this, then we'll get the benefit of that. And also when I was discussing with Srila Gurudev about honoring prasadam once, he said it's very important to receive prasadam from the hand of a devotee. So especially in the temple, sometimes devotees think, oh, I don't want to disturb anyone by asking them for prasadam, I'll just help myself. But Gurudev didn't like devotees would help themselves. His idea was it's always better to say to one of the devotees, please Prabhu, give me prasadam. So that when you receive the prasadam from the hand of a devotee, then you can think, oh, this is the grace of the Lord coming to me through the Vaishnava. There's not, the idea of just helping yourself is almost like it's your food, or you're at the cafeteria and, like that. So, and also we see that Guru Maharaj especially, he liked that prasadam is served to the devotees, not that everybody queues up like at a cafeteria, but the devotees take their seat and the prasadam is distributed by devotees from plate to plate. So this way, thinking and always not to feel shy to ask a devotee, oh Prabhu, or did he please give some prasadam to me?
I'm begging for mercy, please give some.
Yes, yeah.
Hare Krishna. And I can say from Gurudev's side, and I have seen that I don't know any Ēkādaśī that Gurudev did not follow. I mean, in the sense of grains.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and we were with him in all sorts of circumstances. So I can say from Gurudev's standpoint that we will all follow Ēkādaśī, and there is a very clear, right in front of my own eyes, one case where a devotee was traveling with his wife and 2 young children. And his wife's not a devotee, the 2 young children, they're young children, they're not yet even devotee age. And well, everyone's devotee age, sorry, Prahlad Maharaj. Anyhow, they were young children. And anyway, he came to the temple, we're in Dum Park, and it was on Ēkādaśī day. And Gurudev said, oh, sorry, we can't give you, we can only give you some fruits. We don't have anything, you probably haven't eaten, you just arrived here, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning or something. And then the devotee said, oh, Gurudev, I was traveling, and so and I'm with my family, and we're on the flight, so I took grains today. But Gurudev positively disapproved. I mean, really, he positively disapproved. So he said, no, we will always follow Ēkādaśī. So I can just say from that perspective of Gurudev that, yes, it does say in the scripture about whatever the Brahmana or a Vaishnava wants that we eat, then we take. But Gurudev didn't consider like himself that he would give such an instruction. But we know Guru Maharaj did on some occasions to special devotees like Devashis Prabhu.
Yeah, he realized he's such a sense enjoyer.
No. To me, Guru Maharaj gave the direct chastisement or explanation that the necessity to break fast of Ēkādaśī at the right time. So in our calendars, as much as possible, we have the places around the world various main cities, various places where got the times calculated for there of when to break the fast on the day after Ēkādaśī. So we directly know from Guru Maharaj that we should also honor that properly. Otherwise, it is a form of not following correctly Ēkādaśī. So when it says between like 7:53 and 10 a.m., we should try to we should break our fast with some grains in that time, within that time period. And if any of you have the luxury of Jagannath Prasadam, I have given all mine away since coming from Jagannath Puri no, not this year anymore, last year, way back in 2020. I've given all mine away. But if you do have actual spiritual luxury of some Jagannath Prasadam, then that would be a very traditional way to break fast, with maybe just 2 or 3 grains, but with some Jagannath Prasad. And sometimes during the morning program in Navadip, then a devotee will come around with some grains, because the time would be within a certain time, and the morning program's going on, it's not yet breakfast time, so they come with a few grains and distribute hand to hand, and we just pop in the mouth. Hare Krishna. Yes, and from West London, please, you give us some practical, almost instant Ēkādaśī preparation that will suffice nicely for the honoring prasadam today.
Oh, Maharaj, you would have to speak to Saraswati Didi and Lavanya Mai for that.
Well, Lavanya Mai's got her phone on.
Actually, yeah, maybe Lavanya Mai is there. What? Oh, she's asking now.
Or any comment? You're so small, London. Why so small in London? I can't.
Maharaj.
Oh, Lavanya Mai Devirasi. You've got
Shanti Moy on the pot washing.
Oh, you're pot washing with Shanti Moy in just 2 different kitchens. All right. Saraswati, Dandavad.
Dandavad.
Hare Krishna. Would you like to offer a simple, almost instant preparation for Ēkādaśī?
That's you have so many. Oh, Lavanya is the cook today. She should share something.
She told me she's the pot washer today.
She's the cook. She's the head cook. I'm the pujari today.
Okay, but I know you can all do every service. So anyway, if there's something on the top of your head, which you can say, oh, this is very good, simple, quick preparation for Ēkādaśī.
Potato and potato and cauliflower. That's it, with ginger and cumin and black pepper. That's about it. A sabji with that, you can actually add some butternut squash in there.
Okay.
I mean, it's just very simple, Ēkādaśī. We try to follow simple here, like in Navadip style.
Yeah.
We don't make the fancy things. I mean, we offer tapioca, obviously, some sweet preparation. But peanuts, sabji, maybe a butternut squash soup, perhaps. Lavanya made some blended ginger and apple chutney.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Okay. That sounds good. That's what we want to hear. A simple, practical menu for Ēkādaśī.
And of course, we always offer Mahaprabhu grain, so we have to offer. He doesn't do Ēkādaśī, so she made some khichdi, or we make some rice or something. Some grain preparation have to be offered with the other things. Yes. Always.
Okay, very good. So West London and East London running very similar today. All right. So anybody has a short contribution or a short question? Yes, Rogero. Have to undo your mic and open your microphone. Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I want to ask you about water. An obvious question for many of you. I want to ask you about water. What kind of water we can offer to divinity? Is it prasadam, or is it fine to offer an already opened bottle of water to the divinity? This is my question. Those are my questions, maybe.
Okay. I'm not so used to bottled water. We just open the tap and water comes out. Normally we'll try to offer, if it's from bottled water, yes, we want to offer the original, like open the bottle and then that first water. Then we'll consider that the whole bottle, it's a very unnatural bottled water. I mean, it's just strange. Still seems strange to me, buying bottled water.
Yeah, the problem is because here the tap water is not drinkable. It's not, we cannot eat it, drink it. So that's why my question.
Yes, so try to give an open bottle, a new bottle of water. But otherwise, you can consider the water bottle. You probably, if you're drinking water from a process, you're probably getting the 5-gallon bottle or the, 5-liter or 20-liter bottle like this, the big bottles, rather than the small bottle. So yes, any time from there, that's just like having a reservoir of water. Yes, actually, Roger, you can offer from any part of the bottled water, but especially, I mean, if it's a small bottle, you're going to open it and offer that newly to Krishna. But if it's the bigger bottles, which I assume you're using if you're buying all your drinking water, then any part of that container, it is like a reservoir.
And is that considered then a prasadam or just water you are offering?
Oh, yes. What you have offered, you can tip that into a jug. So you have the jug on the table, the container that you're going to distribute, then you can just put that water into the jug, and then that water is all prasadam.
One short, one size.
It's not that we go take a little water from the reservoir of 10 billion gallons of water, and then the whole reservoir is going to be prasadam. You got us thinking about this. It is what is offered on your altar. Then this is becoming prasadam, and then you just add that into your jug, the dinner table or the lunch table, and then it's prasadam. But it is a fact that in Kali Yuga, you see, even very short time ago, then all of the rivers, you can drink from the rivers. But now with the Kali Yuga, almost, all the rivers in Europe and India and everywhere else, you cannot drink from them anymore. You see, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the Sharanagati song, oh, when will I go and drink water from the Saraswati and beg at the house, beg from anybody's house for some food and just be satisfied to drink water from the Saraswati, drink water from the Ganges. But, okay, maybe from the Saraswati and Ganges, still you can drink water, but most of the rivers, we have seen how the rivers have become the drain. And so, just this matter of water, the world is going to suffer. The world is suffering from all of this wrong behavior, necessary for good guidance. But it's Kali Yuga, so it's very good. We've got the best thing, best time. We've got the holy name. So when we see crazy things going on, which you may have noticed a few crazy things going on in the world, then just think, yes, it's Kali Yuga. So let us take shelter of the name. It's helping us to take shelter of the name. And today is Ēkādaśī. And as we said earlier, we want to be prasadam-tarian, but also on Ēkādaśī, we want to nicely follow simple diet. And regularly, we should actually have a simple diet. And then the festival days, the special days of the Vaishnavas, are the days for the extra things, like the paneer and those things like that. All right, good devotees. And Shyama Sundari Devi Rasi joined us from Spain, Madrid, maybe, with Maha Mantra Prabhu also somewhere in the background. Dandavat to you both. But you've joined us just as we're ending our program today. Praneshri Didi can fill you in on the details. And today is Saturday. After 4 hours is a children's class. If anybody wants to sign up for a children's class, sign into Praneshwari. She'll give you the link. Who's speaking? Who's giving the class today for the children?
Shyamasundari and Subhadra.
Oh, Shyamasundari and Subhadra. Okay, very good. We look forward to hearing that. You see, I'm a child. I like to hear the classes. But because it happens during our program, I'll hear them recorded. All right, so to all of the devotees headed by Devashis Prabhu, the secretary of the London chapter of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math. Subhadra, Hare Krishna. They're signing in, they're preparing for their class this afternoon. So to all of the good devotees present, each one of you, wishing you always a savor-full Krishna, always remembrance week in devotional service. And today, successful Ēkādaśī day. It's the Lord's Day. And tomorrow, please, wherever you are, check on the calendar for the time for breaking the fast and try to break the fast at the correct time. And everybody, please chant Hare Krishna. And do only 2 things. Always remember Krishna. And what was the second one? What was the second one, Devashish?
I can't remember.
Never forget Krishna.
Oh, yes.
All right. Jai Shri Gurudev, Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, our sweet Gurudev ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Guru Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, our sweet Guru also ki Jai.
Jai.
Really full of sweetness. And we know Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also full of sweetness. Ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari. And all of the devotees present, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasinda.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Yuvananda Prabhu, happy to be able to see you also for a few moments. To all of the devotees, and Gaura Hari, Krishna Lalana, keep up your seva, keep up your sadhana while you're there.
Yeah.
Jai. Dandavat, Dandavat. So, okay, we'll leave you peacefully in West London now after crowding into your room today. So many of us from around the world. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari
Hari Hari Bol.